Welcome to Don't Ruin This For Me, a podcast where childhood friends reacquaint themselves and each other with things they loved growing up. Movies, shows, video games, and more.
Hello and welcome to Don't Ruin This For Me. I'm Asher Matthews with you as always, and we're going to do something a little new today, which is that we are introducing smaller episodes in between what are kind of our bigger tentpole episodes. We're going to call them mid-month minis. So these episodes are dives into a subject with fewer participants than the full group. They may be topics that we don't think we can discuss for as long as we would a main episode, or they might be things like today that are a little bit more personal in nature that are something that only two of us really had some interaction with. Before we get into today's topic, I'd like to plug our Twitter account, which is at Do Not Ruin This. We've been starting to get more active and we've been updating our feed there with pictures such as the Columbian Park pool from the Goonies episode 2. We've also been putting together a thread about how we ended up landing on our final logo and some of the things that we tried along the way, which has been really fun. So you can go there and take a look. And for this episode, we're going to be tweeting out a link to be able to look at the cards that we're talking about today. If you're interested in kind of having a visual as we talk about things. And again, that's twitter.com/do not ruin this. All right. So today it is just CJ and I. CJ, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Wonderfully well. Yes.
Well, I'm also doing well, and I'm really excited to talk about this today because this is something that I remember really well with you, and I'm excited to kind of see where our memories align and what we maybe remember differently. We're going to be talking about a Marvel card collection that was created by a company called Impel, and there were series of these from 1990 to 1995. Specifically, the one that I had was in 1992, and it was Series 3. So while we're talking about this kind of generally, our focus will mostly be the 1992 set because that's what we interacted with a lot. Before we get into the details of this, though, I had just talked about our Goonies episode, and we have received a lot of feedback about you, CJ.
Yeah.
rating this a 3 of 10. Do you have anything you'd like to say to our loyal Goonies fans out there who are listening?
Yes. First of all, I'm not going anywhere, so I will not be leaving the podcast to the dismay of some. Sorry. The second of all, like that, I will just say that it not being a big part of my childhood, I think, was the main reason for that. Like, I don't think anybody, even if you love the movie, would be able to say that it is an inherently good quality film. You enjoy the crap out of it? Absolutely. Like, it was, especially if you grew up like in that same age range as those kids, like that, I completely get. Like, that was your dream as a kid. Like, you wanted to go on this grand adventure and find a treasure map and go to the treasure thing. Like, you were watching what you live for unfold in front of you. I didn't. So I just saw as an adult some stupid kids go and do stupid things with stupid effects all around them. And I'm sorry.
Right, so you're not backing down from the 3 of 10. You're doubling down.
I absolutely am doubling down, and I now here's the thing. I would also rate movies very highly that I guarantee some of you who rated Goonies very highly would rate very poorly because of my experience with them. And we will definitely dive into some of those later on.
Yeah, I'm excited
throughout this podcast. So
to see some of those as well. All righty, very good. Well, thanks for touching back in on episode 2.
Anytime.
Okay, so what do you remember about this, and what are your thoughts on it as we started brushing up in preparation for this episode?
Well, honest, so I've got the database kind of in front of me here, and I'm looking through some of the cards, and I've been looking through them a lot before we started this, and there were some surprises. Honestly, there were some definite, just memories of flooding back.
Sure.
Some of the specific cards
Will you
that,
I didn't do a good job of kind of describing them. Will you describe what these cards are for people who aren't familiar
oh,
and are not in front of the database?
yeah, of course. So it's basically just, a trading cards essentially. It's not a game like that. It's just cards with characters on them, on the front.
Like the
So it's a
baseball equivalent, or like the equivalent of a
yeah,
baseball card, but for fictional superheroes.
yeah, just collecting cards. And this was, it's strictly Marvel. So you've got in this set where there were 200 cards. Um, the majority of them were just, a character on the front, and then on the flip side would have um, some information about them. It would have, and I thought this was the coolest thing, the power ratings
Uh-huh.
chart on the back. So it had all these different statistics.
The categories are strength, intelligence, energy projection, mental powers, fighting ability, and speed.
So there it's very colorful lines, and it has a rating of 1 to 7 for each category. And it was so cool for me to just like flip over and see, especially for characters I've never heard of or hadn't heard of at the time, to see, okay, like, are they powerful in any way?
Yeah. Do you remember
Um,
any of the characters, either that you have not still or hadn't? Maybe if there's one that you've become more familiar with, that might be interesting to kind of see how that guided your interaction.
Somewhat. There were some that were kind of, I mean, looking back, I didn't know who they were then, and I still don't know. So like
Yeah.
for me, a bit of the background for like my connection with Marvel, I'm trying to think of the age range. Like these weren't like brand new when we were messing with them, right? Like this was
They couldn't have been, I guess, because they when they came out, we would have been, or I would have been 10,
mhm.
and we got to know each other 7th grade,
Yeah.
which is, well, I guess it's pretty close actually.
Yeah, I'd say give or take. But I'm just trying to remember when we were really like going through them all the time. I think we were a little older than that
Yeah,
for
well, yeah,
sure.
probably.
So I like I don't remember if it was like the right after high school time. I want to say that's probably kind of around when we were really um, playing around with them quite a bit and
Yep.
going through them. But at that point, either way, I had not yet really gotten into reading or collecting Marvel comics.
Yep.
Shortly after that, I did for probably 7 or 8 years, and I got quite an extensive collection. Um, and I read about and learned about so many more characters and all these different stories and everything. And it was, something I really, really enjoyed for quite a long time. And so seeing some of these characters now,
Yeah.
just so like I'm going through, and some of the ones I remember specifically that we had taken quite a liking to were characters like Darkhawk.
Yeah.
Um,
Who
a
I
lot of
have
them,
never seen in anything, but yes.
yeah, and that's one. I think there he was featured in like maybe a side story of a main thing that I was involved. I don't know, but it
Yeah, I
just
don't either.
there not much from him. I want to say like Domino was another one.
Yeah, I've encountered her since, but she was one that I didn't know anything about. But she is in the second Deadpool movie, right? So it was fun to kind of
Yep.
see the difference in characters between this card in '92 and what it looked like in the 2020s.
Yeah. Moon Knight was one that
Yeah,
I hadn't really know about, and that's probably artistically my favorite card. Looking through
sure.
the whole set, I love the way his cape forms the circle around the kind of
Hmm.
background. So these cards, they all have like a space like background, and then the character is featured kind of in front of it. But then there's also a little shape, whether it's a rectangle or circle or some shape of like a normal background within the
Hmm.
space. um, but his is a circle, and his cape kind of fits through it around, and it looks really really neat. Um, and I actually was curious about the artwork on these, and I did see that the artwork is made for these cards specifically, like they weren't pulled from comics or anything. So that was
Yeah,
something that I was a bit curious about.
I
But
read
yeah, this is
that
all original art.
I read that it is sort of generally considered that the artwork in this one is lesser than series 1 and series 2, like that it went downhill from there. And I have not seen those, but I thought that was interesting because I agree there are some like Moon Knight that I think are just awesome. And then there are others like Nightcrawler or Charlie 27 I looked at and I was like, man, this is just subpar art. Like Nightcrawler, who is a well-established character, looks like he has been like stretched out. Like his face is super long and he just doesn't, he's not like a compact person. And I just never liked that artwork.
Yeah, that one is kind of strange. Like, and then I've, Nightcrawler he's very, he's a popular enough character, and
Yeah.
I read enough X-Men comics to have quite a bit of experience with them. And yeah, he does not look anything like this. Just yeah, his just the shape of his face and body and hands and all that stuff is very exaggerated, more so than I think normal.
So on the back of these cards, we had you had mentioned sort of the power rankings. So there's also like a quote that is supposed to kind of sum up what the person stands for, I think. And then there's a bio that gives a little bit of background about the person's powers and about kind of how they came about them or what their background is. Was there anything in there that surprised you as you were looking through these again or that stood out?
One card that I gave no credence to, and I think we made fun of a lot. Where it was the Darkhold Redeemers.
Yeah, it was one of the team cards.
No, it's a rookies.
Oh, rookies.
Card.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
I think we should probably tell what all the different categories are, but I'll do that in a second. So Darkhold Redeemers is like just these three normal looking people that are just sitting around a book, right?
Right.
And up until probably like 2 years ago, it still would not have actually meant anything. But then with WandaVision, and then
the Darkhold is
the Darkhold
book from WandaVision and then into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I did
exactly.
I had not made that connection. So what did the card say? What was their role? Do you recall?
Basically, it's so silly. Like, I'll read the back. It's not
Sure.
super long. So it says, "The Darkhold, Book of Sins. Its pages spell out horrors so inconceivable that no human mind could be their author. Now those pages are spreading their evil across the globe, and mankind's only hope lies with the Redeemers. Vicky Montesi, Interpol agent Sam Buchanan, and Professor Louise Hastings. Three lonely souls brought together by fate who must battle the Darkhold with nothing more than their wits, courage, and humanity."
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's so silly.
Oh, that's a great connection.
It was just so weird to me that, like, I'd never, in all those years, even through reading comics, I never, and I mean, I was more into like the superheroes more so than the magic aspects or those different kinds of stories. But the Darkhold was never anything that came up in anything I read.
We also, I know we're introduced, or at least I remember us making fun of a character named Speedball who is in there, and looks silly, and I had never really come across it, but I think we've both experienced him a little bit more since then.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This was sort of a bit of a Mandela effect situation for me because there is no Speedball card.
What? No, is there not?
No. He is in
I swear I just saw it again.
He's pictured in a card.
What is he, New Warriors or something?
New Warriors, yes. So he's on that card.
Really? So there's not an individual one. Boy, that is a real Mandela effect because I looked at every single one of these in the last day just to brush myself up. And if you had asked me to swear that there was one for him, I would have said that there was because I had noted it. I was like, oh, Speedball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
that's weird.
And it blew my mind because that was one I was looking so forward to talking about. Like, this guy was such a doofus and he looks stupid and he
got kind of a
probably
stupid power.
Is stupid. Yeah, his powers to like throw fast balls everywhere. Like, so dumb. That character, though, was one of those that I came across a lot when I was reading the comics, because one of the major storylines that was going through while I was reading comics was the Marvel Civil War story, which is, of course, started with the Superhuman Registration Act, and some heroes were for it, like Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, and then Captain America was against it.
That part of it, the like superhero registration, we've seen, if people are familiar with the Captain America Civil War, you've seen that, Iron Man is for it for a particular reason and Captain America is against it, and that's a big part of that the divide. But the impetus for the Civil War is different in the comics.
Yeah, so it starts out because the New Warriors at this time in the comics are essentially trying to make a name for themselves by stopping crimes, and they do it by recording themselves and kind of making their own little hero vlogs of them fighting crime, just to try to get their names out there and become more popular. And so they're out there and they're fighting this group of people, these evil guys. I don't even remember if they were together, if they had a name, whatever, but it was near a school. And one of the bad guys, his name is Nitro, and his power is to basically just explode. He doesn't die, he just creates a giant explosion. So Speedball is, I think, kind of at the time maybe the leader of the New Warriors.
That's my recollection too.
He's kind of high up there, and so he's gung-ho, let's go for it, let's take these guys down, even though there's a very dangerous guy right near a school full of a lot of children. Things go badly. Guy blows up, kills all sorts of people, including many, many, many children. And that's what sets off, the government saying superheroes need to be registered so that they can be held accountable for what they do, versus, then it's just going to turn them into, being too controlled and all that stuff. And that's what spurs the whole thing. So Speedball, this stupid dork of a character, essentially creates the one of the biggest storylines that Marvel has done in a long, long time.
I love that. And then
he ended up actually turning into a different character, because he spent a lot of time in prison for this, and became a character called Penance.
Oh, interesting.
Who wore a suit. Basically, he had his own personal kind of Iron Maiden suit. So he would wear this suit, and it had like all these spikes and stuff in it that would constantly
hurt him,
be causing him pain, as a constant reminder of what he did.
Wow, the entire time he wore it. Dark, but kind of cool. Yeah. I gotta say, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to quickly go through what the sections of cards are?
Oh, like the groupings of cards, you mean?
Yeah, like what? Yeah, what are the categories?
Yeah, so the first category and the main category is like superheroes. You got all the heroes kind of divided up into the first looks like 70 cards, and then the next 30 or so are team up cards.
Yep.
So it's just two characters, where they're mostly heroes, but there are a couple villains ones where it's just two characters. Like I'm looking at one right now, it's Spider-Man and Human Torch, and it's just they have spent a lot of time doing things together, and it just on the back gives a little bit of
this is when they teamed up, or why they did, or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. A little bit of history, and then the first time, like, it tells you what issue they first teamed up in. So that takes us through card 100, and then the next several are the
40.
Villains.
Yep,
40. Yes, and then you get to the rookies, which are obviously just new characters for like the next 10. And then after that, you have the cosmic beings, which were the big heavy ones, which these are the ones that I love looking at the power ratings, because they were always like off the charts.
Yeah,
because they're like obviously cosmic beings, and so you've got these crazy,
lots of sevens.
Yeah, like, what was it, Eternity? Right, like
Eternity is sevens and everything except for fighting ability, which was a 1. So it's like, Eternity is going to blast your mind or shoot out energy or whatever, but never going to go hand-to-hand fighting with you, which I thought was interesting. I thought, it makes sense, but I thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm. So then now we're at 161 out of 200, and now you've got your origins. So you've got your main well-known characters: Hulk, Spider-Man, Silver Surfer, Wolverine, blah blah blah, and it just kind of goes through their origins a bit. And then 170 store 171 was where the teams start.
Yep. Through
So you got
183, so that's like 12 kind of teams: Avengers, X Factor, that sort of thing that kind of describes them.
Yep. And then the rest of the way through is, well, there's a couple, not very many, a few that are wars. So like crazy big like war event cards. And then you've got the milestones, which are just, little points in time that are very, very important to how things work. And these are all kind of from different points in time. They're not all from that 1992 era. So you've got, Days of Future Past for the X-Men, also the Dark Phoenix saga. For Spider-Man, you've got Death of Gwen Stacy and the wedding of Spider-Man. So just really important little moments, and it gives you a little bit of a description on the back of what they were and everything too.
So one of the interesting things about this, I think I'm looking at the list, and a lot of these are the basis for what we've seen in movies coming out. So Civil War is not on here. This predates the Civil War timeline, but for example, we have the Infinity Gauntlet is on here as one of the milestones, which was obviously the kind of conclusion of the first three phases of Marvel's cinematic universe. They've got Secret Wars on here, which is going to be coming in the next few years, and other things in terms of like what we've seen from X-Men and Spider-Man and some of those. Like they really drew from the classic stories or the milestones here as they were making some of those movies.
Yeah, even the coming of Galactus, like very poorly done, but still touched upon in the second Fantastic Four, the Rise of the Silver Surfer one.
Yeah, it was very poorly done. I hope we get to see that again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I just want to see Galactus in a movie sometime in my life. That's it.
Formed being instead of this menacing cloud.
As a person instead of smoke monster from Lost or whatever. Like, make it cool.
Well, there's two more things that I want to make sure we touch in on this mini. So one is I took a look at the power rankings. So as far as I recall, there's no like key to what 1 through 7 means. You have to kind of figure it out based off of how different people interrelate.
Right.
As far as I can tell, as I look through, a 1 in a given category just means this person doesn't do it. So for a normal human, they're a 1 on mental projection. Then of course there's the 7s that you talked about, right? So the cosmic beings almost all have 7s, or at least some, and many were the most powerful across the board. So for example, we talked about Galactus a moment ago. He's a 7 in strength and speed. What I wanted to say was, and I never went through these probably through this detail, or I kind of would flip things over, but I was very curious about 7s and what that meant and how to think about things as I looked at these cards. And it appears like they just, I don't know, made stuff up. Card versus card. Like as I got into the weeds a little bit about thinking about this, I was like, I don't understand this rating model. So Galactus has 2 7s, strength and speed. Silver Surfer, who is his herald and got his powers from Galactus, has 3 7s. He has strength, speed, and energy projection. He is more powerful at projecting energy than Galactus. It makes no sense. And I was just like, so I got into a rabbit hole of looking through this, and I thought it was interesting. So I just wanted to quickly talk about it. So again, 1 probably means that the person isn't doing it at all. A 2, as best I can tell, is like a normal human. So, if they are a 2, that's, I can move at a normal human speed. 3 is I'm a bit higher than human. 4 is I'm pretty darn good for a human. And then 5 and 6 are superhuman. So the reason I say that is that like people such as Punisher or Daredevil who don't have superpowers are sitting at 4s for fighting ability. So they are the peak of human ability. And then if you get into 5s and 6s, you're talking superhuman.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. And then 7 is just there's no like way to quantify it.
You'd think that, but there are, and this is where it gets again very interesting, but like totally meaningless. And they clearly did not do a good rating system. So I just kind of said that 4 is where, say, a Punisher or a Daredevil, who are noted human fighters, top out, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are 7s for heroes in fighting ability. And one of them is Captain America. One of them is Wolverine, and the other is Cable. And Captain America, Wolverine, and Cable are obviously good fighters. But are they 7s? What does that mean? Like they're so elite at fighting that they are at the same level that a cosmic being is at their energy projection. It just made no sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not asking for you to explain it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really funny, and it highlights kind of the silliness of the cards. A couple others that I thought were really funny. Quicksilver, who has a name about being fast, had a speed of 4.
What?
And I was like, a speed of 4? Like, I get that, maybe a Silver Surfer he's obviously faster because he can, travel through space at the speed of light or whatever, but I didn't get it. Black Widow was a 6 in fighting. So Black Widow is way, way better than Punisher and Daredevil. I would have put them about even. They're kind of the pinnacle of human fighting. Yeah. I don't get it. Okay. Kind of silly, kind of meaningless. I did not care for the rating system.
No, but when you're younger, it's fun, and it's especially given the things that we would do with the cards and how we would interact with them.
Which is what?
Which is elimination tournaments, baby.
Woo! So tell us about the elimination tournament.
Oh my gosh. So just for me in general, I love tournaments. I love making and filling in and completing brackets for whatever, everything. So like as a kid, I would do the most like mundane things. Like I used to collect Racing Champions diecast NASCAR cars, replica cars, and I had like all the drivers, right? And I would get my grandmother's ironing board, like big long ironing board, and set it up as an incline, and then just have 2 cars at a time, put a ruler down at the top of the thing, lift it, and then just see who won the race at the bottom. And I would create a tournament bracket for that and just go through and do stuff like that. I would go out to like the basketball hoop, and I would do something like the NBA teams or like countries or anything, and would be all of them. And I would go and I'd shoot 10 3-pointers, and I would just keep track of who they were. And okay, so this is the Bulls, and I'm shooting, and they made 5 of them. Yeah, right. Like I ever made 5. And then just go through, and just do like I'd have to go into sudden death if I had to, and
that's hilarious.
We would take all the heroes, all the villains, as many as we could that would fit nicely into a bracket, which I'm actually pretty sure, as I was going back through and counting, if you add in like maybe one group, that would get you to a total of 128.
Yeah, so we're close. I did the math on this too because I was kind of curious. So we already went through this, right? You had 70 heroes.
Mm-hmm.
We have 40 villains. We have 9 rookies. And we have 11 cosmic beings, which equals 130.
Mm-hmm.
So we must have taken 2 people out, and I don't know
because the rookies also included like the Darkhold Redeemers and a couple of teams as well. So there might have been a couple of teams within those categories that we took out.
Oh, that's a good call
as well. But yeah, so it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, it includes the Darkhold Redeemers and the Pantheon. We
Oh,
probably
right, yeah.
removed the Pantheon too. So 128. Very good. Yep.
Which, as you know, that's perfect to create a single elimination tournament bracket. So we would just take sheets of computer paper and just draw on these little brackets and write down all the names of all 128 of them, and then we would literally flip a coin. That was it.
For hours, we would just enjoy who would win. I recall early on, we would take the cards out and we would like have them next to each other and like, flip the coin and put one away or whatever. But as it went, I recall us taking the time to put it into like an Excel spreadsheet so that all we had to do was just print it out and track, and it would make it easier, which speaks to how often we did this and, frankly, how big of nerds we are, which is a lot.
But it was so much fun. And, just having, these matches of, the Celestials versus Hobgoblin, or as I always called him, Hoboblin, because I misread it the first time I ever saw the card. And Hoboblin just stuck.
Hoboblin beat the Living Tribunal or whatever it was.
Exactly. And it was
super fun and silly.
So fun. And we would like try to think of how it would actually happen. Like, how could Hobgoblin beat Eternity? Right?
Which wouldn't, but yes, we did. We tried to come up with that. And I feel like we tried to pick, we each at the beginning, we picked a champion. Like, this is the person I think is going to go all the way. And it's just luck, but it was super fun to try to pick.
See how far one person would go. I feel like that's where a lot of what I'm remembering about certain cards like Darkhawk and Domino, I feel like those are ones that we probably picked more because they weren't like big names, or like Megan.
Megan was Under the Sea. She's like with Namor. But I don't know her. Yeah,
either. But she looked like a normal ass person. I was like, it'd be fun if she won the whole thing.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna. I don't know if this was on your radar or not. We didn't really talk about this, but maybe we had the same idea. We're gonna do it. We're gonna each pick 4 people. So we're gonna have a tournament of 8 right now. First of all, what do you remember about the coin that we flipped?
Oh, I don't actually remember anything about the coin.
Well, I have it still.
Oh my gosh.
It is right here. It is a 1976 Eisenhower dollar. And on the flip side, because it is the 200-year anniversary, it's got the Liberty Bell and a moon, I think. And I don't know why it has the moon. But that is the coin that we used for years, and I have kept it. And I was like, I know where this is, and we're doing this podcast, so I'm going to take it, and we're going to use it again.
Oh, that's amazing. I forgot there was a special coin, honestly. That's the best.
It's a really good one for flipping because it fits onto my hand really well and gets a good nice heavy flip. All right.
Exactly. All right. Oh no.
So who are your 4 champions?
All right. So, I mean, obviously I have to go with Major Victory.
Obviously. You and I are going to go very different philosophies, I'm thinking. All right.
All right. I think I do have to go with Moon Knight.
Okay.
Just because of the card.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta get some bad guys too, right?
Yeah, let's do 2 each.
So
you've picked your hero champions, and now your villain champions.
Okay. Then obviously Hoboblin.
Yep. I would have been disappointed if that were not on your list.
And then lastly, let's go with Cardiac.
I saw him yesterday and was like, I don't know who this person is, but he does it. The art is really good for that one.
I do like, I know he's a Spider-Man villain. That's given the fact that Spider-Man was the biggest collection of what I had and what I read with comics, and I still don't really know much about him even past this.
Sure.
It says a lot.
All right. So for my heroes, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say it's probably my 2 favorites. So Daredevil is the I didn't collect a lot of Marvel, but Daredevil I collected and really enjoyed. And And I had a hard time deciding between Black Panther, who I also collected and really enjoyed, and Black Widow. But I'm going to go with Black Widow because I just really enjoy her, both in the comics and in the movies. I think she's awesome. And there's a theme there. I tend to gravitate, like, I'm a big Batman fan. These days, I tend to gravitate towards humans who just have the kind of grit and will to get it done versus, superpowers. So that's what I'm going with, Daredevil and Black Widow. And then on the villain side, I don't know a ton of these villains. I'm gonna go with the Mad Thinker. I think he's funny. He only had a 5 in intelligence, by the way. I looked at that one and I was like, oh, he can't really call himself the Mad Thinker with a 5 in intelligence. It's fine.
I mean, that's why he's mad.
Yeah. And I'm going to go with Zarko, who I don't even know who that is. But I looked at his card again and I was like, oh, this guy's got some eyebrows. Eyebrow power.
Oh,
all right,
my gosh.
So our first challenge is Major Victory versus Daredevil. Do you want heads or tails? We'll just keep it consistent. So which one do you want?
I'll do tails.
All right. So Daredevil is heads and Major Victory is tails. That is heads.
No.
Daredevil has defeated Major Victory.
Major Victory is such a loser. Also, like, just literally the sound of the coin.
Yeah. Can you hear it really well?
I heard it very well, and
That's
it actually brought memories back just hearing that.
Yeah. Same
That's
coin.
awesome.
I'm gonna continue to try to flip it kind of in front of the microphone. All right. Moon Knight versus Black Widow.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. It is heads again.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. My humans are dominating. Hoboblin versus the Mad Thinker. Oh no. I hit the microphone, which you probably heard, but it landed tails.
Yay!
Hoboblin remains in this. And then Cardiac versus Zarko. That is a heads. Sorry.
Man.
Well, maybe your Hoboblin can clean up. All right. Do you want to do hero versus villain or hero versus hero?
Hey, hero villain.
Hero villain. All right. So Daredevil versus Hoboblin and Black Widow versus Zarko. Good?
Perfect.
All right. Daredevil versus Hoboblin. Oh, it's Hoboblin!
Yes!
All right. And Black Widow versus Zarko. Will there be a hero in the final? It is Black Widow.
Nice.
So we have hero versus villain and one for each of us, which is cool. This is it.
Oh.
The final countdown. Hoboblin heads. No. Black Widow heads. Hoboblin tails.
Yep.
It is heads. I am sorry to say, or I'm happy to say maybe, that Black Widow has defeated Hobgoblin, and is our champion. It was that 6 in fighting ability that she had that really made the difference.
Clearly, Hoboblin isn't very good in much of anything, honestly. I was looking at his earlier. It's not the best. He's got some 4s. He's got 3 4s.
Yeah.
Strength, intelligence, fighting, all 4s.
That feels about right. The Black Widow 6 feels wrong to me. Hoboblin and 4s in those. That's it's on a kind of superhuman or upper end of human range. Maybe he should have a 5 in something because of his in his strength, because of the whatever that stuff is that he put in his body. But I don't know. Feels about right. All right, well, we have to wrap this up. It has been so fun reliving this and having another tournament. And I'm, I don't know. I'm sure our experience is a little bit unique, and not everybody's going to be like, oh, yes, I too had Marvel cards that I played, a coin flip tournament with. But hopefully it was still fun, and you can get a little bit of a sense of how big of geeks CJ and I are.
Exactly. I think we should do a full 128 character tournament for a podcast, and the other guys can help us do commentary or something, or I don't know. I think
That would be fun. We'll have to look at doing that too. All right.
But yeah, no, this is a ton of fun, man. Thanks.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
All right. Have fun.
We hoped you enjoyed this episode of Don't Ruin This For Me, which is a Perdiddle production. A big thank you to Asher Condit for the use of his song, Don't Fool Me Now, for our theme music. You can connect with Asher Condit on Instagram at Asher, the producer. Feedback and requests can be mailed to donotruinthis@gmail.com or on Twitter @DoNotRuinThis. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for listening.